What's up, everybody, and welcome to an all new and live episode of Team Chat Podcast. If you're listening to this on Tuesday when this episode comes out, this was a live episode that we recorded during our Extra Life 2018 stream on last Saturday, November 3rd. For everyone here watching with us live, it's live and you can enjoy it as we do this episode. So, as I said, and before, what makes this episode so special and why we want to do this one live is because not only does Extra Life fall on November 3rd, that's also Team Chat's birthday.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday
us.
to
We're
us.
3.
3 years old. It's crazy.
3 years old.
So in case this is your first time joining us, though, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan.
How's it going?
And in Team Chat Podcast, we talk about video games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. New episodes come out each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time, and you can either listen to those across podcast services or around the World Wide Web, as well as watch each and every episode on YouTube and Twitch. So, okay, I do have to, though, turn off the TV because it is very distracting having Fortnite pulled up. It's just right up there.
I'm going to play Fortnite while we record.
Oh, God, that would be so distracting.
I never kill anybody.
But with that, also, too, if you want to follow us, you can do that on social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as join our Discord channel. Links for that are in the below the video player here on Twitch, so you can find all of that stuff. And then also, if you would like to support the show, as I mentioned earlier, you can do that by going to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. And in return, we'll give you a cool perk like getting the episode early before its general Tuesday release on Monday morning. As well, you will also get access to our private Patreon-only channel on our Discord server, The Rogues Gallery. Boom. There we are. There we have it. So, do we have a moment with Mogan this week, or were we just kind of spinning?
Okay, you sprang it on me, buddy. We didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about this.
Well, we have a couple of little bits of news. Primarily the Nintendo Direct that came out earlier in the week, which was mostly about Super Smash Brothers. So some people thought that maybe there might be some Animal Crossing updates. There wasn't, and most of the updates are just regarding things that I personally didn't think were very important.
Yeah.
They did announce that Piranha Plant is one of the new challengers, which I think is top tier humor from Sakurai. That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. And then the new Pokemon, Cinerosaur, however you say his name.
I have no idea how to say his name.
But anyway, he looked like a pretty cool hero too, so that would be fun.
Is that the one that looks pink? Mm-mm. No, never mind. Okay, just kidding. Nope.
We'll give it a Google later.
Yeah, we'll Google it later.
But So kind of what the topic and everything, that it's weird jumping into an episode like that. I gotta say, it's a little weird jumping into an episode like in the middle of the...
It's Incineroar.
Incineroar. Thank you, Bro Mogan.
That's the one from the Alolan stuff, right? It's the final version of the Fire Cat, Incineroar.
Oh, that's cool.
He's like the luchador, right?
I don't know.
Did he look like a luchador?
Smart. Yes, kind of, a little bit.
Okay, yes.
Maybe.
Is that what you were trying to describe? Is that what Zach was trying to describe earlier?
Think so.
Oh, I get it now, because he does have like a fiery belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
It's all clicking. Yeah, it's Incineroar. That's really funny.
So he's like the last hero that they ever, or a contestant in Super Smash Brothers.
That's really interesting that Incineroar is going to be in it.
Yeah.
Incineroar and Piranha Plant. I think that Sakurai's just gone off the rails.
Not poor Waluigi.
Good.
So,
he can't fight anyways. His only weapon should be the tennis racket and his biting sarcasm.
All right, and then another quick update we have to do too is that as we talked about in our last episode, that I was going to start doing a weekly segment also called the Red Dead Roundup.
So this is Jerrett's opportunity to give us his ongoing updates about his exploits and adventures in Red Dead Redemption 2. I have not yet acquired the game. Honestly, chances are slim that I will acquire the game within the next year. I will wait for it to eventually be free through PlayStation Plus, which it probably will be.
10 years? You're going to be waiting for a very long time.
I'm a patient gamer. So in the meantime, Jerrett's going to tell us all about what he's been experiencing and enjoying.
Here's my Red Dead Roundup for this week.
Wait, you have to make gun noises. Pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Our guns sound really lame.
I didn't play it at all this week because I was way too busy setting up for Extra Life 2018. So there's my Red Dead Roundup for this week. I'll be back next time with hopefully a much meatier update into the game. But I have been loving it so far.
Sam and I didn't like the use of that word.
That's just like it's hefty. It's it's got like substance to it.
Don't talk about things that way. Yeah, Sam's grossed out. Me too. That's gross, Jerrett.
So
keep your meats to yourself.
Okay, fine. Well, I will then. But anyway, the main thing that we wanted to talk about on this episode was going to be basically team chat and what we've, our favorite things for over the last year, what we're wanting to continue to build on and improve in this next year as we move into year 4.
But
before we have to do any of that,
product.
That's true too, though. I mean, we could improve equipment, we could improve little things like that. But as far as just solid hosting, solid storytelling, solid reviewing of games and gameplay, we're just at the top. But before we get any further into that, we have to sing happy birthday to ourselves and blow out candles and have a little bit of cake. We'll tear into this fully later, but for now, we're going to do this. Do we really want to actually sing happy birthday all the way?
I think that seems without any nuts.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes,
we're going to sing it the whole way through.
Oh, okay. Sam was not on board with that idea. Here we go.
Happy birthday.
This is weird.
To
you,
us.
I don't know how to do this. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, Team Chat Podcast. Happy birthday to us.
Yay!
Woo!
I wished for $1 million.
Yes.
Yes.
And all the podcasting equipment.
What I wished for, so we're
it's not
going
going to
to
come true now. So you jinxed
we'll
it.
probably only get $1,000, which is still pretty good.
But that's all going to the wonderful children.
Yeah.
For
Just a
children's,
reminder.
for Dell children's. Oh, there we go. Oh. What service? All right, I'll get a little piece
I need
here.
my paper towel back. We can eat it later.
Oh, that is so good. Much better than being boozled.
Bender, come help me. Eat this brownie off my shoe.
No, he can't. Kill him.
Where's Henry?
That'll kill him too.
Good.
Thank you, Kirok, and thank you, Bro Mogan, for the happy birthday wishes. So, the main thing that we really want to do, like I said, is just talk about the show. Talk about some of our favorite things that have happened in the last... Because I feel like this year, we've hit our stride, I guess it would be a good way to say it. Like, I feel like we've had some really solid episodes and started really, like, perfecting. Like, this year we introduced... Instead of just calling them straight up reviews, of doing like first impressions of games, where we talk about the first few hours that we've had in a game and different things like that, rather than having to wait for the new game to come out, and then we sit there and we talk about, and then months after the game is out, we finally come back and talk around to it. So I feel like that's given us a really good avenue to discuss brand new games that come out, and then also gives us, the opportunity to then circle back around so we get a really nice, well-rounded discussion about a game. But what do you think is one that stuck out for you as one of your favorite?
I loved the live episode we did with you, Sam, me, and Zach for our E3.
That's right.
That was an
awesome episode.
And the live episodes are just always really fun because you get so many people in on it.
They really are. There is a lot of stuff. Yeah, go through. It's fine.
Sam. She's really ruining our stride, speaking of.
You're right. That one was a really fun one too, because there was just so much that we covered there. A lot of stuff that we got to talk about. And that was the first episode I think we've had 4 people in the same room.
Yeah, and it actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
No, I think we've done it before, because didn't we previously
we've had Dylan.
Dylan's been with all 3 of
and
us.
Allie, that's right. We have had 4 people in the room.
Yeah.
It was 4 people that's why it was sticking out in my head. It was 4 people with our new setup.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was another one. We got the new setup. We got the new table.
I think
we got
the
bigger
new setup
chairs.
looks sleek.
It really
looks
does.
Good.
Like, we need to finish filling out our wall behind us of
so
stuff.
To be able to afford some sweet merch and stuff, people, you could always become a subscriber on Patreon.
I will say, this is what you've gotten really good at.
Plugging the show's Patreon.
Is plugging the show's Patreon wherever you can.
Well, so the thing is, obviously, people, the Patreon does help us make the show better. Not in terms of merch, but we're talking games and equipment.
Right.
So that's why I talk about it all the time, because it's like, hey, we kind of need money to buy a ton of games.
It allows us to do
expensive.
things, and it allows us to do things like Extra Life. So, and take part in this, because now that we're doing it, unless the remaining 15-ish hours we have and this just go totally off the rails and are terrible, this has been really fun.
We can't lose money. That's
true.
Can people take back their donations?
We can lose a good time.
We could lose a good time.
You know.
But I feel like once we do start getting into the sleepy time hours, our
it's gonna get a little
humorous brains are going to kick in, and
Yeah.
we're going to hit the loopiness. I feel like it's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a fun time. So yeah, that's yet to be seen at this point. But that was a really good one. And then, no, Kirok, I do not want any more spicy foods. He says,
Yes,
make
you
sure
do.
Jarrett's piece is spicy. I do not
I
want spicy
should have
cake.
sprinkled some peppers in there.
But yeah, so that was a really solid episode. Obviously, we got to enjoy the more recent one, but Life is Strange 2 came out that we got to review, which Life is Strange, I think, for us, those episodes are always going to be some of my favorites.
It's also just one of the most rare examples of games that both of us equally enjoy.
Yeah.
There aren't many games where you and I directly overlap on how much we like them.
And this one, honestly, is a surprise. You know, like it honestly is one. I am surprised that it is one that we do overlap on.
Not because of me, but because of you.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, it's kind of right up
It seems
my
right up
alley,
your
but
alley.
it's a lot more of a divergence, I think, for you.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you're looking at Life is Strange versus Black Ops 4 or whatever game, is it Black Ops 4?
Yeah, Black Ops 4.
Okay, yeah, Black Ops 4. It's just very different.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's your cue to really get more into indie gaming, my dude.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've been picking up a little bit more of some things. Like I've been picking up more indie games on the Switch. Like I started playing Hollow Knight recently. I am very interested in jumping into Stardew Valley. Actually,
I think we should both.
I
do
think we
Stardew
both
Valley.
do. It's only $15,
And our listeners really want us to play.
I know.
It.
We
We're
actually have been
really
getting a lot
going
of-
against their wishes by not having played it yet.
Yeah. So what if we did this then, in the spirit of Extra Life and where we're at right now with this? What if we hit $600? We both buy Stardew Valley.
That sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
$600 goal, people.
Oh wait,
Jared and
isn't
I-
that soon?
That's pretty soon.
Fine.
You want to hit it for 700? Want to put it a little bit
Yeah,
more
let's
off?
put it a little more off.
Okay.
650.
All right.
$650. We'll each buy Stardew Valley.
$650. Jared and I will both buy Stardew Valley.
And we can guarantee in the next week or two?
Maybe not the next week because it's a really in-depth game, isn't it? We're
Yeah.
going to want to
We're
spend
gonna
a
need to
little more
spend more
time
time
with
in
it.
it.
So
So
we'll
within the
say
next couple
within the
weeks.
next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll play it and do an at least first impressions episode
Yes.
of it. And now that we have an Elgato, we could actually both stream it.
We could.
We
Yeah.
certainly can. Another contribution made possible by our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
I'm going to plug it every 5 seconds.
You should.
man.
I mean, that's what it's all about, you know? But no, we also, what are some other big things that we accomplished? I did my first complete streamed playthrough of a game this year with Guacamelee 2. And then,
Bro Mogan just reminded us of one of my own personal favorites, the top 10 series that we did.
oh, yes.
Because we did like our 10 through 8, and then we did like
That's
7 through
right.
5.
And then we did the whole
our
breakdown
top
of Game
4.
Informer's
That's right.
list.
Oh, yeah, and the Game Informer list was actually
That's
really
right.
fun.
That's right.
That
I
was
forgot
a
about
good
that one.
They're probably going to do another one of those, next year, right?
Well, that one was special, I think, because it was something special. It was Game Informer's 300th issue.
you're
So that's why they
right.
did
You're
that.
right.
But no,
Okay.
but I do want to add that into our rotation.
That'd be a
of,
fun thing to keep doing.
Yeah, I do want to add that into the rotation of each year we review and update our lists.
I know that we caused a bit of controversy, at least with the Game Informer review, by both of our negative reactions to Pac-Man being in the top 5.
Pac-Man and Tetris.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm still not sorry, people. I'm still not sorry.
I hear people being all excited about Tetris Effect that's about to come out for PSVR. I'm not about it.
For PSVR.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're actually going to feel the weight of the blocks crushing you to death, what's the point?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't understand why people cling
But
to Tetris.
did you see that Neko Atsume, the kitty collector mobile game, did get a PSVR?
Did it?
It got VR.
So does that make you want to get VR now?
Kind of, a little bit. I was like, oh, I probably would play that.
I would play this. This looks awesome.
Neko Atsume.
Oh man. Real quick, I'm just going to jump up and adjust the audio real quick.
Okay. Is it sounding bad? Good? Little hot?
Yeah, it's going to turn us down.
You guys want to hear me rap? It's getting hot in her. So I don't think that's... Yeah, that's how the song goes.
But anyway, so we're back. So yeah, that was a great one because, and I feel like I've already had some additions. I'm not quite sure on the placement.
Assassin's Creed?
No, not
Red Dead?
Well, no, because not yet. Because I've only spent less than 10 hours in both of those games. The month of October had some of the biggest releases of the year, but it was also one of the busiest months of the
Honestly,
year, and I just have not had the time.
I do think... I'm not actually sure if it came out after we did our top 10 series, but if we redo them next year, I think that Octopath Traveler might make it into that top 10.
So it is for me. I do know I need to evaluate where God of War will fit, the new one that came out this year, because it was a fantastic game. Hellblade will hit there on there for me.
The Hellblade game was really
It was
cool
so
to
good
play.
and so much better than I was expecting it to be.
Oh my gosh. What a great use of rotoscoping for starters. What an old school way to do gaming.
Like, it was just so crazy. That game, I knew good things about it. I had heard good things about it, and I knew that people were always talking about how good of a game it is. And it was one that was like, man, I want to play it, I want to play it, I want to play it. It just was never right at the time. But then when we decided to do it, I was blown away with how good it was.
I mean, I think that in terms of very broad gaming trends, the trend toward the very specialized narrative storytelling experience, that is A+++ work in my book.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's really very few story-based games or narrative storytelling experiences in gaming that I have straight up not enjoyed. The surprise, of course, for me was this year I actually played a game I hated. Remember what it was?
Yes, because you just talked about it recently.
It was pretty recent. It was just within the past few months.
Oh, crap.
Bound.
That's right.
I hated Bound.
That's right.
It's a bad game, people, in case you were wondering.
And that is rare for Mogan to say.
Don't get it.
I feel like that's actually fairly rare for both of us to say.
It is.
But I feel
mean,
more so for you.
There aren't many games that I flat out hate, and I was expecting so much to enjoy Bound, and it's just bad.
Because it's from the makers of Journey.
I'm
Or
not
is it?
sure
No,
if
that was
it's
Abzu. That was
yes,
Abzu.
that's Abzu. Bound is along the same lines, though. It's kind of trying to accomplish the same goals as Journey,
Right.
and just failed miserably. Journey they're not even comparable. Journey is a next level amazing game.
Yeah.
Bound, you could never play in your entire life, and you'd honestly be better off for it.
There you have it.
Bound, you're better off without it. That's the official tagline of the game.
Honestly, what I would say... oh, that's right.
Tetris being above Metroid Prime is a Metroid crime.
That's what Bro Mogan says.
That's true. That's a true statement right there.
But I would say probably the game that I've played this year that I enjoyed the least and was honestly surprised that I enjoyed it the least was Far Cry 5.
Oh.
I think I ranked that one somewhere like a 65, 67.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And, really, I do think that the reason, or my having not played it, I think the reason is that they didn't choose to be more committed to their story.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't want to embrace. It feels like they were trying to make a statement without wanting to make anybody mad.
Exactly. Like they wanted to make this big political statement, which is exactly how all of the marketing was making it seem.
Yeah.
And then they chickened out at the last second. And it's like, oh, so the statement you're trying to make is actually nothing.
Yeah.
Cool. And
it had a very convoluted story, a very repetitive story. The villains were meh, which for Far Cry's always has had great villains.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about all this in the review episode of that and everything. So let me see here. What else?
So what would you say that so far this past year, your favorite moments in your own gaming experience have been?
Favorite moments in my own gaming experience?
Like, what have been your gaming highlights?
Definitely God of War. God of War just hit so many of the right buttons. You did
finish it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you finished.
It's finished it. And it's
Did you already platinum it?
No.
Oh,
I need to go
okay.
back.
But you're wanting to.
It was like coming out at the same time. Yeah, I was needing to finish that one, and then I was also trying to finish Far Cry 5. The two, all these big games seem to hit around the same time, and so that's why I needed to finish it. I do want to go back and platinum it. They have now, since I finished it, they released the new game plus, so I can go back and have all my same gear and stats. That one for me, and I know we'll get into this one a little bit more maybe closer to the end of the year when we talk about our year in review and post game awards and all that stuff like we usually do, but. And I want to get more into Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead before I declare it my game of the year.
Yeah.
But it hit all the right notes in terms of a awesome reimagining of an established franchise, an awesome reimagining of an established character, and not only a reimagining, not necessarily a reimagining, but almost a 180 of an established character and how you've seen him before and how he behaves and how he reacts to how he is in this game. By far, my favorite soundtrack of the year.
Really? God of War is your favorite soundtrack of the year?
My God, it's good.
Interesting.
Bear
Okay.
McCreary blew it out of the water.
You know, I will say that I haven't given the God of War soundtrack a really solid listen, but I absolutely should.
So
we should feature it at the end of this episode.
Yeah, obviously for the live stream, because I don't want to make Twitch mad with playing licensed music, so I'm not going to do it for this live part. But on the actual released episode of the recording, I will put that on there. But I'm going to feature Ashes, and I'll play that for you after we actually wrap it up here.
Is that the ashes that he's painted with?
No, I believe it's probably referring to mostly. Well, they carry Kratos' wife Faye. They carry her ashes with them on their journey.
I thought her name was Frey. Is it Faye?
You're probably thinking of the goddess.
Yes. Okay. Never mind. I'm getting confused.
Freya. But anyway, so you carry their ashes. It has. Well, not only did Bear McCreary, they made this, and I think I mentioned this before too, but they made this video that was talking about how he composed the music for it. And for the main theme of it, he found this Icelandic choir that can sing this old Icelandic version of an old Icelandic language that's basically like not spoken, not understood by many people anymore. And it just creates this truly haunting sound. But then in Ashes, I am forgetting who the vocalist is, and I want to give proper credit to that. But it's other. No, because I'm getting there. It's honestly when the vocalist hits the highest point, like the peak of that song,
the crescendo. Come on, use your music language.
I was trying to. I know. I was getting.
You were building up.
to it.
Music jokes.
Puns. But when she hits the crescendo of that, the climax of it, it's otherworldly. Like bumps, goosebumps, everything. It just is ridiculous. So I'm going to look that up.
Did you cry?
I mean, it makes me feel things. I don't know if
it makes you feel.
I don't know if I cry, but like it just sends shivers through your whole body.
Typical male gamer.
Hey, I've cried at things.
While you're looking for that, Bro Mogan just wanted to drop into the comments and say that his game of the year so far is Celeste. He goes on to say that he hasn't played many more games so far this year, but I think Celeste probably did hit a lot of gamers' tops. It got obviously nothing but positive reviews. I don't think there's anybody out there that played Celeste that didn't love it.
Okay, so it's Ashes. The vocalist is Eivor. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly because it's Eivor. I don't know how to pronounce Icelandic Norwegian names very well.
Neither. And I listen to Bjork. I should be able to. Because sometimes she's singing in English and I'm like, I really don't think it is. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, but it's magical, lady.
So I would say those would probably be the highlights for me. What about you?
Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Bravely Octopath, Bravely Traveler. Second Traveler, basically the new Bravely game.
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler has wound up being such a welcome surprise because I was expecting it to be good. Obviously, the Bravely games were amazing, but Octopath took everything that was great about them, reimagined it into a slightly new but familiar combat battle system, and then put this entirely new story and a fantastic bevy of characters into it. Obviously, not all of the characters are equal in my mind and in my heart, but all of them do definitely feel unique in their own way. The character of Ophelia in particular, and really the characters of Ulbrich too, they're both kind of very stereotypical, but it doesn't really make you like them any more or less. They still have their own qualities of personality that are unique to them. I like that Ophelia kind of feels like an outcast in her own family because she's adopted.
Right.
So each of them has their own stories to go through, and none of them felt torturous. There were definitely times in the Bravely games which are very heavy on dialogue, very heavy on character development, and there were times in those games where I kind of found myself being like, oh god, not this again. I just want to get to the fights because the fighting is so fun. But in Octopath, almost every story scene, almost every addition to the storyline is a good one.
Right.
And there's so many fantastic side characters to the Octopath games. I feel like if we ever do another NPCs episode, mine are all going to be from Octopath because they're all phenomenal. But in terms of just the amount of hours that I've put into it, which I think at this point numbers at least over 60 hours. I think I'm about conservatively one half of the way through if you're not counting post-game post-game opportunities. And I know that I'm going to be pumping just so many more hours into it. It's the kind of game where if you sit down and play it, you wind up playing it for 3 to 5 hours minimum. If I started Octopath at midnight, I could probably go to 6 a.m. without sleeping, without noticing.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of game where once you're in your flow, you just stay in it. And it does such a good job with balancing all of its different factors and giving the gamer the opportunity to make certain things easier. For example, one of the reasons that a lot of people don't necessarily like RPGs is they don't like having such a wealth of choice, because it can, like, the burden of choice can honestly be very mentally tiring. If you're constantly having to look at your gear, if you're constantly having to look at your character classes, you can start to feel kind of tired out by it. But one of the great features of Octopath Traveler is the Optimize button. I don't know how much you used it of the demo that you played, but the Optimize button allows you to go to any character, scroll down to Optimize, and using all of the available items you have in your inventory, the game will assign your character everything.
Ooh.
It'll give them all of their armor, all of their weapons, based on what it thinks you have that is best for that character at the time.
That's awesome.
It's not always right, because depending on how you want to basically customize your character loadouts, you might want your magician, for example, to be just all magic attack and nothing else. Basically make him into a glass cannon. To have him have just magic attack off the charts. But if he takes like 2 solid hits, he's probably going to die.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a very valid strat. So the game gives you the opportunity to either go super customized, really do all of your characters and your loadouts exactly how you want, or it allows you to take a little bit more of a autopilot approach to it. Just sort of give your characters the new gear that you get as you progress to kind of make them a more of a balanced team.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that route. I'm going super customized all the time with all of my people.
See, I like that feature though, because the thing for me with RPGs and different things like that, like I can get overwhelmed with loadouts. And so having the ability to just press a button and it's going to assign all that stuff for me is like, man, that would make it nice. Because even in RPGs that I super get into, like Dragon Age and different stuff like that, sometimes the level of customization and everything that I have to do can be daunting.
Especially if you're not familiar with the system.
Right.
You can go through it and just be like, wow, I have no idea what to do
I'm pretty
here.
sure I played, because I, for one, was kind of dumb about it and didn't realize this was something I could do. When I played Dragon Age Origins, I'm pretty sure I got through 25, maybe a little closer to 50% of the way through the game before I realized 25%. 25% of the way through the game before I realized I could change the loadouts of my characters. Now, that's just me. That was me being real dumb and not understanding how the game works. But think about it, though. I was used to playing at that point more like Assassin's Creed games, where I hadn't really played party-based games.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I mean, that's the thing that I think I like the most about Octopath Traveler is that it's a new take on a very old style of gaming.
Right.
Obviously, party-based RPGs, JRPGs specifically, have been around since the earliest days of like real video gaming experiences.
Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger.
Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, all the old classics. The Legend of Dragoon, the greatest game of all time.
Obviously.
And that's really just a genre that you don't get many new iterations of. Mm-hmm. The notable ones are kind of all by the same people. They're the Bravely games and Octopath Traveler.
Right.
Because I feel like they're doing it so well. And my hope is that this resurgence in popularity of this type of game will lead to more availability of them in the West. In Japan and in the East, JRPGs are obviously still very popular.
Right.
And they get a ton of them, but we don't. So the two off the top of my head that I know of that I would really like to see more continuations of are, of course, Persona 5, an amazing game that I am criminally not giving enough attention to.
Right.
Persona 5 is just stunning in every way, and in its combat system especially, and it's another JRPG, and of course Octopath.
Right.
So in terms of like my year in gaming so far, I've played a lot of new games. Haven't finished as many as I should.
But I mean, that's kind of par for the course for you.
It's kind of par for the course. I do want to. I really want to finish. Hey, you know what, everybody? For $900, I'll finish Persona 5 by Christmas.
That's going to be a push.
Oh, God. If we hit $900, I'll have to send it back to easy. But if we hit $900, I will finish Persona 5 by Christmas.
There you go. There we have it.
Oh, God, I really hope I can do that. I will give it my very best effort. Yeah, that'll be quite a crunch.
But I mean, it should be doable.
Yeah, I'll have a month and a half.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's a lot of time.
And I have a bunch of time off at Christmas
That's
time.
true. Holidays,
so I'll be able
Thanksgiving,
to
Christmas,
go
all
home
that
and
stuff.
just power through it. So $900, people. Donate to the
Make it
children
so.
today, and I will finish Persona 5.
Boom. There we have it. There was another question I was going to ask you. Oh, do we have a question?
Yeah, Bro Mogan asked, Rachel, did you even beat the first boss of Persona 5? No.
Oh, you're not even that far. But you already know it's great.
Because I was playing it on hard mode.
Oh.
And so I'm stuck legitimately. So
hey, I get that.
That's what I mean when I say I'm going to have to set it back to normal difficulty because I don't think I'll be able to do it otherwise. Ugh. I'm a failure.
So one of the things, though, like I would say, so not only are you jumping into these newer games and everything, but one of the things I was surprised that you've recently started voicing interest in is trophies.
Oh, yeah. Trophies are fun.
Right?
Yeah, trophies are great.
And you discovered trophies are fun. You discovered Fortnite's fun today.
So does Fortnite actually have trophies?
I mean, maybe it does in the Save the World, like the game, not Battle Royale part, but I've never played that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'll probably keep playing Fortnite on the Switch.
Because which Switch game was it that you were just talking about? That you Night in the Woods.
Night in the Woods.
That you were like, I can tell this has
Yes.
trophies and it kills me. That's another reason, like I said, that why I don't like. I've had issues getting in to Breath of the Wild because it has. Oh my God, it would benefit from having trophies.
I don't actually agree with you on that because the Legend of Zelda games in and of themselves, I don't think that that's something they necessarily need.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's coming from the perspective of a lifelong fan of the series, and Breath of the Wild's entire style. I don't think that would actually fit because I feel like Breath of the Wild wanted to give gamers an exceptionally hands-off and non-linear opportunity, and I think that trophies give you additional guidance.
They do, but I kind of like that.
I know that you like that, but my personal opinion on that is that it would somehow detract from Breath of the Wild.
I get that.
Yeah. But that's just that particular instance. In almost all other games, I'm definitely open to trophies.
Yeah.
It's really just things like Breath of the Wild, really just Breath of the Wild that I think
I just like it because
place.
it gives you something else to do. Like they're not side missions normally. They're not, obviously like main game storyline things like that. Completing those unlock trophies. Some side missions, yes, complete trophies. But then it's also like I love random things like. Far Cry has always had great ones, especially in Far Cry Primal. One of the best ones was kill an enemy with a headshot from like 60 meters away with a bow. And that's just a cool thing for you to try out and try to find all these different opportunities that you could have in the game to be able to fulfill that trophy. One of my favorite ones for Far Cry 4 was you had to get a double headshot with one sniper rifle bullet.
I could do that easy in my sleep.
But think about it. You have to wait and you have to play this game for hours until the stars or the heads align to be able to get that sniper shot. And that kind of stuff for me, that's what I like a lot.
I will say that I don't particularly like that type of trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I do like trophies that are for having like weird random encounters that are basically secret things. Actually, a great example of that would be Firewatch. Remember Firewatch? Yep. There's
Still
a trophy that I
actually
still haven't gotten that is something totally optional that I've clearly still missed, where you encounter a raccoon in the wild and it attacks you.
I remember you telling me about this.
I still haven't gotten that one, and I don't want to look it up because I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, wow, that does sound kind of fun and weird. Whereas another game that I love and that has trophies, but that I hate the trophy system is BioShock Unlimited. That's very similar to Infinite. Yes, sorry, BioShock Infinite.
I was like, that didn't sound right.
Same thing.
I know what you're talking about.
BioShock Infinite had a lot of that particular style of trophy where it was like, kill 50 enemies with X weapon. That's boring.
Yeah.
I personally don't get anything out of that. Like, I don't like that kind of trophy. It gives me no motivation to actually do that. I'm like, no.
It's one you unlock and you're just like, eh.
Yeah, it's like, cool. Thanks, bro.
Got another trophy. Yeah. Let's see.
My favorite Canadian, now that Kirok's in bed. I'm just kidding. She's my favorite no matter what. My favorite Canadian arc is on. My arc. My Arky Sharky. Love you, boo.
She says, happy birthday, Teen Chat Podcast.
Ark,
thank you, Ark.
You may not have heard us. I played Fortnite. You missed it. But I'll definitely play it with you now because I actually like it. It's fun. fun. You were right.
Trying to tell you about it. It's been a fun game. It's a fun game to get into.
It was a fun game all along, and I just wouldn't listen to reason.
I bet you'll have better luck on it, though. Honestly, play it with your Pro Controller.
Oh, I'm going to, of course. Yeah, it's a
little rough on the Joy-Cons.
Just the roughness with playing it in Switch handheld is that the view is so much smaller.
Yeah.
If I'm actually it's actually kind of hard to see the targets if you're holding it in handheld mode. So I'll be even better once I'm able to play it on my big screen.
You've made it pretty far.
Yeah. Ark, you didn't see it. I made it into the top 3. Yeah. I was 3rd.
She did good.
I killed 2 guys with a grenade launcher.
That's right. And that was really good. She just launched the grenade launcher at this building that only thought had 1 person in it, and sure enough, she eliminated 2 people.
I did by accident.
It was awesome.
I didn't think I would hit them.
I actually have been meaning to go back and try to figure out where that has been in the stream to clip it because I was it was so cool.
That was really funny. Or the Monster Hunter one where I just walked up, pulled a switch, and then the monster died.
If anybody wants to, while we're doing this, go back and find those and clip those. That'd be awesome.
Those were hilarious.
What else was I going to say? But now, that's been a fun thing to discover. But what would you say then, transitioning it back to the show? And this is actually where feedback from everybody on the chat would be really cool too. What do you think? One thing, and this could be hard to answer, so maybe not one thing, but just what is something that you want to see us do more of, or change up how we do in this next year of Team Chat?
This is something that I can't decide if I think we're better off without or that we need more of. I kind of feel like in the beginning, when we were first starting, whenever we talked about games, we tended to do a lot more research on them in advance. And I feel like we don't do that as much now. And
our research is pretty much contained to what we've played.
Yeah, in terms of what we've played. So research as far as who made the game, what are they about, what else have they done, what was their motivations for making the game, what do the developers think about it, and how does the game fit into the broader context of gaming, especially for older games.
Right.
It's not quite as applicable to new games, but I think we did that a lot more when we were first starting out because we were so worried about being wrong about everything.
Right.
And now we don't care.
And I feel like we still spout off wrong. Every once in a while when I'm editing something, I'll go back and I'll be like, ooh, that was wrong.
Yeah, but also I feel like maybe that's not necessarily a good thing. Part of me feels like maybe we should be doing
I do think that has
research.
Been, I think the number one thing for me is that I do think that, yes, I think we've gotten a little
lax.
And
we're lazy gamers now.
Well, because a lot of it is we have been more of our. I think it's been a byproduct of introducing first impressions.
Yeah.
I think it's because we do that, and we're like, oh, I only have to play the first few hours, get into it, get an understanding of the mechanics, get an understanding of the world, all that stuff, and then we move on and we have that, and then we circle back around months later to do or a few weeks later to do the final review. And I think that has just made us rely on our own experience rather than. So I actually agree with you. Yeah. I do think that is something that we do need to get back into.
I know I'm just giving myself more homework by saying that, but it's something that I think we actually might want to.
I think it's not only necessarily something that we should want to do. I think that the people who listen and give their time and money.
Or who knows? Maybe they all hate research.
I mean, that could be too. I feel like that's just something that we do owe to the people who listen.
Yeah. Or even just to the makers of games.
That too.
They're making those products for us.
Yeah.
And we should probably be a little bit more, except for the makers of Bound.
I mean, I will say, we do a good job of I think getting basic information down. We do normally talk about, but I can't count how many times that I've gone to talk about a game and want to talk about the character, the main character of a game, and they'd be like, in my head, crap, I didn't look who their voice actor is.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is just stuff that I know that definitely.
And that's why the voice actors keep having to go on strike.
I know, and that is definitely something I know. I have definitely made a much better concerted effort whenever we talk about news and different things like that to cite where we're reading it from. That's just a small journalistic thing.
We do also have a question for you. So Nick wants to know, aka Woomy, he says, Jerrett, I saw that you played Transistor. Which of that studio's 3 games that you have now played all of?
I have all played. I have not completed Transistor yet. Still hands down Bastion.
Really? Still Bastion?
Bastion is so good.
Did you, what was, their other one was
Pyre.
Yeah, it was Pyre.
It was Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre. I love Pyre.
But
Pyre was
still
great.
Bastion.
Bastion is still just
That's fascinating.
Great.
And I thought for sure you were going to say Pyre.
Pyre is fun. Pyre is a little bit more, I'd say, relaxing.
Oh, really? Because
Like,
I heard it was really hard.
it can get very stressful, but it just has a more like pleasant feel to it. Whereas Bastion is more of like an action-y game, which I like that more, a little bit more. But just the mechanics of you felt like you built out your character a little bit better with Bastion. You know, you had with Pyre, it is more RPG-esque in that you do have things that you can equip your character with that give him boosts and benefits and all that stuff, but the main gameplay stays about the same. Bastion, the one thing I liked is that there are different weapons that you can use that you can combine, and you can pair these, equip, unequip. You can also then add, the one thing that I have loved about all of Supergiant's games is that they do have those modifiers where you can make the game more difficult and not just like, we're going to increase the number of enemies that you have to fight, but in the means of all your enemies do 5% more damage and also drain stamina or something. You know, that might not actually be what one is, but that's just like kind of an example of what I could think of. But no, I would definitely say hands down still Bastion. I just loved the world for it. The music was fantastic to it as well. That's Darren Korb on that one, doing the music on there. And I don't know, Transistor is the one that hasn't clicked with me at all as well. And I honestly don't know if I'll go back to it really anytime soon.
You know, that brings me back around. We need to write this down. I think another episode that we should do in terms of list style, like in the near future, should be the Ghosts of Games Past, where we talk about games that we never finished.
That would be a good one.
Hopefully I won't have to talk about Persona 5 because the reason is very simple. I'm stuck.
But I would definitely say, Nick, that Bastion. And if anybody hasn't played Bastion yet, please go play Bastion.
So
it's on Switch now. It's on just about everything you want to play. It's on your damn phone.
Pyre was Supergiant's most recent game. Yes,
came out July last year.
So that would be 2017. So 2019. Do you think we'll see another game from Supergiant?
Nah, I bet we'll see. It'll have to be a couple. Maybe at least one more year.
2020.
I mean, they're a small team. I think they're like 12 people.
Yeah. So as far as the gaming employment culture goes, there has been a lot of discourse about this within the wider community in terms of game development teams basically being required to put in way too much overtime. And you know what? I'm okay with waiting. If it means that the game developers get to be paid reasonable amounts and actually live normal lives, I can wait. I'll wait a little bit longer. I'm a patient person. I'll just wait it out, yo.
Sounds good to me. But yeah, so it's But getting back to like the things we'd like to see different in the show and how we'd like to change the show, I definitely think that is the big one. And you know, I know also I feel like we've reached a bigger mix now, I feel like, of reviews and industry opinion episodes. You know, I feel like our list episodes have actually fallen off quite a bit.
Yeah, we need to get back to our roots. We do, man.
But I see that as a good sign though, because back in the beginning we had to rely on the list episodes.
That's right.
Because I definitely know I'm playing more games now than I was when we started. And so like, I feel like those first year and a half to 2 years, we were really focusing on having to go back to our own knowledge of past gaming and our gaming history.
Whereas I think that this year, even if I haven't finished them, I may have played more games than in the past 3 years of us doing this show.
Yeah.
Like, we're just getting our hands on a ton of games. And honestly, I will do a lot of credit towards indie gaming.
Yeah.
Because really one of the biggest barriers to entry for AAA games is the price. If I can get 5 indies for the price of one AAA game, why wouldn't I pick the indies?
Yeah.
And I've had some extremely positive experiences out of that. Circling back to Rhyme, just real quick. Kirok, he's not on anymore, but he did mention, I think he said he suffers from chronic game non-finishing.
Yeah.
And he listed Rhyme as one of the examples of the games he hasn't finished yet. And I would strongly encourage anyone that has not played Rhyme and also doesn't know anything about it, so don't watch my review episode of it until after you finished it. Rhyme was honestly one of the most emotionally impactful games I've played in a while, which is how it made it into my top 10. Like, it was a dark horse that snuck up on me, punched me right in the physical heart, made me cry my eyes out so hard I had to take my glasses off because my tears were getting in my glasses. Like, it was a brutal
Yeah.
and beautiful game. And that's the kind of experience that I really hope will continue to be prevalent
Yes.
in game development culture in the near future. I really hope that doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Ops 4 sounds great and all, but
No,
I could take or leave it.
I agree with you on that. Like, I do love the games like Black Ops. Those definitely have a strong place in my heart. But I feel like I have really been wanting to experience the games with the good stories and the great emotional impact. And games like Rime do that. Games like Life is Strange and all that other stuff that does that as well. And I just think that we're really hitting a good stride with what we're feeling. So again, if anybody else listening to this on the stream or listening to that listening to the recorded version later, let us know. You can send us an email at teenchatpodcast@gmail.com with any feedback and stuff like that. Send us a message on Discord if you join our Discord, or any other of the ways on social media to get ahead of us. Because that's the one thing. Like, obviously, I want to keep this show how we want it to be, but I definitely don't want to be, if you guys all feel like
old fogies.
Yeah, I'm willing to listen to changes and feedback and different things.
Ark says, where does give money? First of all, excellent English, Ark. I know that in Canada things are a little different for you guys, so I assume that's correct. I'm just kidding. I love you. Canada is great. Your prime minister is so nice and handsome. There's a link in the description of the chat to give to Extra Life. And Ark, you may not have heard this. Jerrett and I both said that if we reach $650, both of us will buy and play Stardew Valley. So if you want us to get to Stardew Valley, we need to get to at least $650, and we're both going to play
Which
it.
we're like $75 away from that. So,
and then we will do, perchance, even further down the line, once we've really followed our hearts, we can do a follow-up episode where we rank our waifus and Hazubandos.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a good
that would
idea.
be a good one. That would be a good
we
one.
can compare notes.
Aloy all the way.
In Stardew.
Oh, in Stardew.
but yeah.
Okay, I thought general, just gaming in general.
But no, we should do one in... We really should.
We really should.
We
haven't
should
done
do
that.
ranking waifus.
Yeah,
we should do that. Yeah.
Other things that I know that like have been on my mind that I definitely want to be sure that we focus on. It's another big thing. Like for me, and I can't decide. I don't feel like we're lacking by not having it, but I still. And this is just a matter of getting us out into more places, getting us a bigger listener base so they take us more seriously, but getting high profile gaming people on here. We've had some great conversations already, like Zircon, is on there. And also like want to give it, speaking of gaming icons like that, because he's getting quite a bit of attention. Our good friend Chess. Like, he's like what he's doing with plus 7 intelligence is doing a great job. So
for real.
So he's really killing it with his podcast as well. So I just want to give a quick shout out to him on that. But like, we do these music episodes, but like how great would it be to get a composer?
Hey,
and
we had a composer.
That's right.
I brought him.
That's right. You did. But just like, that's where my mind always goes to. I just want to talk about your music. I did actually find out though that PAX South this year, which is in San Antonio
it's in San Antonio?
in January.
I didn't realize it was so close.
Corey Barlog's giving the keynote, and he's the game director for God of War.
Oh, wow.
So I'm pretty sure I'm going to go.
Wow.
Because
that would be really
just
fun.
to go sit in his keynote.
Yeah, we should go to PAX South.
I think it's only like $85 for all 3 days.
That's not bad. Wow, for the whole weekend? That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
And we could drive there every day. That's not far.
I mean, I'd probably
Plus,
stay.
we could stay. Oh, well, I was going to say, plus, we could go to Magnolia Pancake House every day.
There we go.
Which is the best pancakes you've ever had,
I do love
sir.
a good pancake.
Have you ever been to Magnolia Pancake House?
I mean, I've been to Magnolia Cafe here in Austin,
No,
but
it's
I know
different.
it's different.
This is the German house, Haus. So Magnolia Pancake House in San Antonio.
Yeah,
if
we'll have to
anybody
go there.
lives in San Antonio and hasn't been there, it is aces.
But yeah, so I definitely would do that. And then somebody else, I just heard of another. Oh, no. But I heard Corey Barlog was going to be there. I was like, that's going to have to happen.
That'd be pretty
because
awesome.
that would be badass to get to hear him talk. Because PAX South has long, it doesn't get near as much attention as like
I'm gonna
PAX East
throw
or
a
PAX
shoe
West.
at him.
Don't do that.
Remember that time I think like George Bush maybe was giving a speech and he got a shoe thrown at him? I'm going to reenact that famous political scene.
Corey Barlog, the more I read about him, the more I read his own personal Twitter and different things like that, and how he just interacts and his thoughts and opinions on the game industry. He's honestly, every time I think about it, I think about this quote from The Office, one of the later seasons, I think season 8 or 9, with Clark, I think is his name. One of the new people who comes into the office.
I didn't
He's
watch
like trying.
The Office.
He's trying. Oh, okay, so people who have watched The Office. He's trying to get. He's trying to butter up to somebody, and he says,
You mean suck up to somebody? Butter up to somebody?
suck up to somebody by like making them think they're a friend to Daryl, Craig Robinson's character, and he walks in and he's just like, "Hey, Daryl, you know, man, I just really come to treasure you as a friend, and you know, I just want to have a conversation with you. That's all I want. You know, just let the recorder roll. Just get for like 6-8 hours. Just see what we can get." And that's honestly like how I feel about Corey Barlog, just because of how cool of a dude he seems, and I just really just want to know more about that stuff. But anyway,
some hot discourse in the chat.
Okay.
The local Canadians are saying crepes over pancakes.
I will say crepes. They have their place.
I don't know if I can get on. I don't know if I can get on board with that.
I love a good crepe. I have a crepe machine here. Or actually, we get rid
You
of
have
it.
a crepe machine?
Yeah, we do.
What?
It's still, because after we went to Europe a couple of years ago and we had crepes in Scotland and France, which, oh my God.
Scottish crepes. That's not something you
They were
hear a
good.
lot of.
They were real good. I came back with the need to make some crepes. So I'm all about crepes. I get crepes. You mean those little tiny flat pancakes from Ricky Bobby?
No, thank you.
You know?
Yeah,
Anyway.
but actually, I don't know if you noticed in Monster Hunter World, me and the bros
you kept
constantly make
saying,
that Ricky Bobby
I'm on
reference.
fire, Ricky Bobby!
I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby! That's our favorite thing whenever you're on fire.
Okay, Ark's telling me to grow a beard back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, it's coming back, Ark. This is just the fallout of a not the fallout, but just the result of a Halloween costume. And I'm sticking with it. The aftermath. Thank you. Of a Halloween costume. And I'm sticking with it. I'm embracing the stash for a few days.
It looks nice.
Thank you.
I will say it looks nice.
Thank
Some
you.
people do mustaches and they look like sex criminals.
Yes.
But you managed to like sidestep that very elegantly. So, congratulations.
Sidestep pervert.
You don't look like a pervert. See, I feel like if I grew a mustache, I would look like a pervert.
It's an mental image.
Yeah, exactly. At $1,500, everybody.
He's just going to grow a
I'll put
mustache.
Rogaine all over my upper lip. That's not a real one. I will not do that.
No.
I will attempt to grow a mustache.
Okay, so we got people saying, Bro Mogan came to my defense and says it's a Ron Swanson stash. Thank you, Bro Mogan. Ark says he could have dressed like him for Halloween. Could pull it off. I will say, the first time I ever did shave a mustache, it was a pathetic attempt at one. Because it was just way shorter, so it didn't look as defined. I shaved it because I was going to see Nick Offerman do a comedy performance.
Oh, that's really?
Yeah.
You saw him live?
Sam actually bought, it was her wedding present to me. See Nick Offerman live.
It's always weird for me to think of you and Sam as not yet married because I've only known you as married. So I just assume that neither of you has ever existed without the other.
I mean, 8 years that we've known each other, and December will be 5 years married.
Man, so I've known you and Sam longer than you guys have been married.
No, we've 5 years.
No, I mean in terms of like I've known you for 3 years and you've only been married 5, so I've known you for more than 50%.
Oh, yeah.
you've
Okay,
been
I get what
married.
you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like knowing that information.
Ark says you could rock a mustache.
Yeah, I can.
There you go. Okay, fine. I kind of want to see it now.
Hot with a mustache.
Ark, you're an artist.
Yeah, that's right. Ark, get on it. I'm just kidding.
Draw, Photoshop.
This is a great time for Ark to go on ahead and maybe plug her own self. Very timely. Plug her own art in the team chat. You're welcome to do that, Ark. Give yourself some cred.
Yep. Also, I will say too, just as a little sneak peek, I was going to just unveil it when it was done, but we are working. Working with someone to get a new Team Chat logo.
We've been doing that. That's like our running joke.
It is a running joke, but it's happening
we've been
now.
working on that
it's
for
legitimately happening.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so someday, $1,500, people, and we'll get a new logo.
Hey, Ark did plug her Patreon and says, money
please. There's
So-
nothing wrong with being honest.
That's right. So anyway, we are working on that, and so that'll be fun to get to show off whenever that comes around.
So then, one of my primary worries, I guess, is that for 2019, I honestly haven't heard even rumors of any particular games coming in 2019 that I'm even a little
Excited about.
intrigued about. I can't
I
think
bet
of
there'll
any
be
off the
some-
top of my head.
What about that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice?
I do think that looks really interesting, but
Not at the top of your list.
no, it's really not.
I bet Game Awards are coming soon. Like that's
Yeah.
early December.
Hopefully
They've
they'll
started
have some
doing more
announcements.
announcements there, so I bet we get some stuff out of there.
Well, so the game that I'm most hopeful for eventually is Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah,
And obviously we have had radio silence about it since E3.
I guarantee you it's because
of
they're waiting to
last
get
year.
through Smash Brothers.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure about that. But, we just have... Oh, that's a lie. Animal Crossing.
That's right.
New Animal Crossing. So the only two
That was a pretty
things-
recent announcement, though.
Yeah. So Animal Crossing, could not be more excited about. I am very happy about that. But Metroid Prime 4 is really kind of the only next one that I'm really jazzed about.
Yeah.
If there are others, I can't think of them right now, which means how great can they be? Mm-hmm. Burn.
There we go.
What about you? What is your 2019 looking like?
Pretty bleak.
You need to finish all of your games.
I do need to do that. And that will be the big thing is getting through and finishing Red Dead, Assassin's Creed, because those are going to drag into 2019. There's no
Yeah.
way I'm going to get both of those finished before the end of the year. Honestly, there are a couple like Anthem. I'm excited about. I think it could be really good.
Yeah.
I want to give Division 2 a shot because it looks like it could be with the changes and everything that they've talked about, and they made that a better game. Plus, they made the Division 1 a better game.
You keep getting suckered back into this, man.
I do, but I will say Ubisoft, and I've said this before, Ubisoft is one of my favorite developers
Sheep
right now,
to
and
the slaughter.
they have done a very good job with these games as service type games, such like Division, For Honor, and like the Tom Clancy series, stuff like that. So I think they're doing really good things. So I feel like and like how they did turn around the Division in the later game. So I'm excited for that one. I'm pretty sure Last of Us Part 2 is not going to make an appearance in 2019.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Because they pushed Days Gone. They delayed Days Gone again. It was going to come out February, same day as Anthem. But then they pushed it to April now. So they're not going to have Last of Us Part 2 within a few months of that. They're too
I'm
similar.
sure not.
I mean, they're not similar, but they're like similar enough.
You don't want to release a product that's going to compete with your own product.
Yeah. So that's looking like 2020 for me, which makes me real sad.
Yeah. Well, that just means that in 2020, we have plenty to look forward to, probably. Metroid Prime 4? Maybe. Could be.
Who
Probably
knows?
not. It's probably 2022.
I just hope we get a damn release date for Last of Us Part 2 next
we're
year.
not gonna
If
get
we go a whole
anything
nother
about
year, I'm
that.
going to be so sad. That game was announced 2016.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Wait,
When did I go to Europe?
I think it's been 2 years.
Because I was in London when I heard about it. Because it was announced at PSX.
Wait, that was last year,
That was
wasn't it?
16.
16. Was it the end of 2016?
Yes. It was November.
Are you sure?
It was November. We were there over Thanksgiving.
Okay. I'll believe you.
So yeah, it's been
but
2 years.
I don't know about that, Jerry.
So we'll see. Hey.
We haven't gotten the announcement yet, though, so we can't talk about it officially.
No, I just got the text.
Until,
I know. So yeah. So I think that's all. I mean, we are nearing here, and we have to do one of our tier rewards quick before we jump over to Fuchsia's stream, which starts in about 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you and, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
we
about
gotta
to
do
see
our
the
dance
tier
off here.
award for 500 people.
Sam and I are going to do a dance off to I Don't Feel Like Dancing by the Scissor Sisters. So,
How much money did Fuchsia just make?
Fuchsia's making a
What
crap
just
load of
happened?
money.
We just jumped up to...
Holy crap.
Okay, we both have to get Stardew Valley.
We have to go buy Stardew Valley.
Congratulations, Ark. We hit 720.
Yeah.
What the F
Fuchsia
just
has
happened?
raised $310.20.
She's doing
And
amazing.
that's awesome. So we are
God.
kind of crushing this right
Good
now.
thing we teamed up with a boss. You're going to have to get a tattoo.
I am. It looks like it.
Wow.
Because that's
this
the
is
$1,000. If we
great.
hit our $1,000 goal, I'm getting the Team Chat logo.
Oh my God.
Or at least
this
just
is
the
gonna be-
TCP.
You should wait for us.
Where it's gonna go in
Your
No,
butt.
I'm too particular
butt.
about that.
Left
No.
butt cheek.
No, I'm too particular
It's
about
the
that.
good butt cheek.
I will post
would
evidence
know.
of it done, but no, I'm too particular about where I would want it on my body to do that.
I can't believe we have raised this much money.
This is ridiculous.
We're doing a high five to
High
us,
fives.
man.
If we could high five Fuchsia, we would through the camera.
Ark, high five
High
to you
five.
too. Thank you for your donation.
Yes, thank you very much.
We love
everyone.
you to pieces.
This is incredible.
And soon we'll be able to talk about our waifus. We've got 2 to 3 weeks to play Stardew Valley.
I guess so. Let's get it downloaded now.
Let's get on it.
But yeah, so I think I will just say it's as we wrap up this episode, the celebration of our year 3 and moving into year
The
4.
celebration of our young podcast life so far.
It's still shocking to me that this has been 3 years.
You know, not gonna lie, just kudos to us for not quitting.
I know.
We could have quit any time over
have.
the past 3 years, and we didn't.
And we didn't.
Now we have $720 for the children to show for it.
Yes.
Which actually is pretty good.
It's pretty damn
I
good.
was not expecting that,
I was not
gonna
either.
lie.
So this has been an awesome Extra Life. I can already pretty much say I want to do this again next year for sure.
Oh yeah, this is turning out
This has been
easy.
so fun.
GG easy.
So, but thank you everyone for obviously listening over the last year, and for especially to our patrons who do support the show. Thank you very much for all that, because without your help from that, this would be a much harder endeavor to undertake.
Indeed. We love you, listeners
yes,
and supporters.
we do.
Even
Very
if you
much
don't
so.
pay via our Patreon, patreon.com/Team Chat Podcast. Even if you're not a subscriber,
You still hold.
all of your feedback. It's why we're here.
It is. And honestly, thank you because without you, the listeners, for giving us the medium to be able to just share our love of video games with the rest of the world. So that means an incredible amount to me and to Mogan. And so from bottom of our hearts, thank you. And we're excited to jump into year 4 of Team Chat Podcast.
Do have a heart with me. I only
I
have
don't
one
know
free
how to
hand,
do this
but
well.
You're
I don't know how to do
Have
this.
you never been in love, sir? Aren't you married? You
So,
suck.
with that, like I said earlier in the episode, our soundtrack spotlight for this week, we will do Ashes from God of War.
Obviously, that
by
won't be
Bear
here in the
McCree.
live episode.
Right, that will not be here in the
you
live
want me
episode.
to
in
do
the
a
pure-
live rendition of it? I
haven't even heard it.
I know. I'll wing it.
But so we're going to do that. So that will be our soundtrack spotlight for this week. But that concludes this episode of Team Chat Podcast. Until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan. We'll see you all in year 4.